One of Rights and Humanity's first priorities was to ensure respect for human rights in the context of the HIV/AIDS pandemic. Our patron, Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
Never shy to take on difficult issues, Rights and Humanity was one of the first organizations to champion respect for human rights in the context of HIV/AIDS and to insist that compassion and respect should form the bedrock of our response to this tragic pandemic.
Rights and Humanity brought people together from governments, the health professions and AIDS service organisations to agree the application of human rights norms across the public health and social response to HIV/AIDS. The Rights and Humanity Declaration and Charter on HIV/AIDS was launched at the International AIDS Conference in Amsterdam.
De mensenrechtenorganisatie Rights and Humanity wil het lot van AIDS-patiënten verbeteren.
From public harassment of infected people and job discrimination to the fate of those chained to the walls, the world is putting behind bars of prejudice and fear a new group.
Working with the World Health Organization, Rights and Humanity took its human rights message to public health departments across the globe. We held training sessions across Africa with the Commonwealth Secretariat, and our declaration and charter was used as a policy framework adopted at our pan-European conference, which marked a turning point in European policy.
The bottom line is that respect for human rights is essential to save lives.
In addition, Rights and Humanity took the issue of AIDS into the human rights community. We led the way in formulating policy on AIDS and human rights at the UN.
Call on the International Alliance of Women.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. The International Alliance of Women makes this joint statement under item 4, together with the International Movement of Rights and Humanity, in order to draw your attention to the
We ran many training sessions for governments, UN agencies and NGOs. As a result, the protection of human rights became a core principle of global policy on AIDS. Following the success of our AIDS programme, Rights and Humanity took its human rights approach into the broader health agenda and acted as advisor to the World Health Organization.
We came to Rights and Humanity and we asked if they might be interested in working on this with us. Shortly after we had made this arrangement, I called a friend of mine in WHO who has been there for some time, and I said, "Oh, I have good news. Rights and Humanity in London has agreed to help us with drafting the guidelines." Boy, are you fortunate. Those are the people who understand about human rights and development, and they can put those two pieces together. You've got the best partners WHO could have.
Rights and Humanity brought all its experience to bear on pioneering a new way of doing development work, as our patron Cherie Booth recalls.
Over the last 19 years, Rights and Humanity has pioneered and refined a human rights approach to development as a strategy to overcome poverty, violence against women, and women's particular vulnerability to HIV/AIDS.
This agenda required a refocusing of human rights priorities to include economic, social and cultural rights alongside civil and political freedoms.
The Universal Declaration confirms, for example, that everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including food, clothing and housing and medical care.
One of Rights and Humanity's significant early achievements was to contribute our expertise on economic and social rights to the drafting of the South African Constitution. As South African High Commissioner Lindiwe Mabuza recalls.
Ms. Haldeman provided extensive briefings to technical committees as they were busy drafting the Constitution of our country. So please, let's give her a round of applause for her contribution.
Rights and Humanity long recognized the realization of human rights entails a people-centered process. While recognizing that high-level political support is crucial to create a supportive environment for people to claim their rights, legislative reform in itself cannot ensure justice for those who are often denied it most.
At the same time as advising the UN and governments, Rights and Humanity developed models for community education and empowerment, working with Her Royal Highness Princess Basma in Jordan.
Rights and Humanity's work in Jordan centred on finding ways to bring human rights to life in people's everyday experiences. The human rights approach to development pioneered by Rights and Humanity subsequently not only became a valuable framework directing international development efforts, but in Jordan is still helping us to achieve some promising outcomes.